Good morning, everyone. Women of the Revolutionary War is an interesting topic of research and conversation. One of the more interesting women of this time was Jane McRae. McRae was, according to Michael Logus in his book From Musket to Tomahawk, Volume 1, The Saratoga Campaign and the Wilderness War of 1777, was an exceptionally beautiful young woman in her early 20s who was a patriot in the colonial cause. It was engaged to a loyalist officer in the British Army. While it is agreed that McRae was murdered by a Native American warrior attached to the British Army while she waited for the arrival of her fiancé, the story from there becomes muddled and a little bit unclear. What is clear, however, is that her death served as a catalyst for the victory at Saratoga by American forces. While William A. Griswold and Donald W. Linebaugh confirm in their book, The Saratoga Campaign, Uncovering an Embattled Landscape, that McRae was murdered and scalped, they did not go into further detail. Dean Snow confirms in his book, 1777, A Tipping Point at Saratoga, that McRae's fiancée arranged for Indians to find McRae, who was traveling with the army, to find her and bring her safely to him. The two Indians who were bringing Jane to him had a falling out over who would get the expected payment. One of them impulsively killed McRae with his tomahawk in order to keep the other man from getting the reward. However, Legusos tells a different story in his book. While the author confirms that her fiancé indeed hired Indians to find her and bring her to him, he asserted that McRae and a woman with whom she was staying, Mrs. McNeil, who were both escorted together. Uh, Leguzos went into further detail. He speculated perhaps the Native American warriors were not aware of who she was um, and perhaps assumed that she was just another prisoner to be escorted back. While McRae knew that her fiancé was planning to come get her, and he again speculated that this time that perhaps she was not aware it would be Indian warriors coming to get her and maybe offered some resistance. In any case, on their way to camp, the author argues that the escort came into contact with another Indian party who had just been in a battle with Patriot forces. These Indians were very angry and disgusted with their losses and began to argue with the others over the prisoners. As the argument intensified, the groups began to push and strike each other. This led to one of them aiming a musket at McRae and pulling the trigger, killing her instantly. Another Indian warrior named Wyandotte Panther ran up and in a fury scalped her. Now, while the accounts do differ in the details, two things are definitely agreed upon. First, McRae was indeed murdered and scalped. This is confirmed in Griswold and Linebaugh's book as well. Uh, they detail the exhumation of her body, which occurred multiple times. Second, the Continental Army leadership used this incident to their advantage, creating and fomenting rage among the Patriot citizenry at the incident. Although many others had been scalped and killed during the war, the killing of McRae was somehow different. Perhaps it was her young age and beauty. Perhaps it was simply the attention of her death in propaganda literature and colonial newspapers. In either case, the murder inspired a wave of enlistments and a fury that, in part, led to the victory of the Patriots at Saratoga. The role McRae's death played in the battle was evident from the many notes left near the bodies of fallen Loyalist and English soldiers that declared in various ways that it was for Jane McRae. The impact of McRae's death on the battle is legitimate, and it is fair to speculate that the Battle of Saratoga may have taken a different turn had her death not occurred or not been used as propaganda. Would another death of a young woman have had the same effect? That's hard to determine. What is clear, however, is that her death made her a pivotal, if not well known, figure in Revolutionary War. Thank you.